Settle down, lads. This is being recorded. This is for the YouTubers. Hello, YouTubers. Welcome. You get additional material, you big, beautiful people. Right, we're about to go live on Facebook. Hopefully, if everything is going to plan.
This means all my friends can see me. Hello, friends. Oh, one of you, Matthew.
Friend. Well, yeah, we are. I believe we are live on Facebook. Hello, Facebookers.
Hello, world.
So this is you're going to watch us now recording a podcast. This is what happens behind the scenes on Progtor Who. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Always.
Excellent. Okay. Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Doctor Who and Music podcast, Progtor Who. I'm your host, Bob, and on this podcast, we will be reviewing the mostly missing Patrick Troughton story, The Wheel in Space, and playing some random songs along the way. But before we dematerialize deep into this podcast, I'm going to go around this virtual table and gather our co-hosts' first thoughts on this adventure. So I'm going to come to you first, Craig. Give us your first thoughts on The Wheel in Space. What was your first experience of it, and what do you sort of think of it now? Just give us a vibe. Give us a tone.
My vibe was exhausted. That's what I'm going to go with. And also, there was childhood reminiscence with this. I got this as a Christmas present from my Auntie Barbara and Uncle Watt as a book. And I remember getting it. I was really excited about it. I can still see the cover of it. And I was in secondary school. I was very heavily bullied in secondary school. That's important in this. And I was very excited. They got me this really sexy pen as well that went.
We've got a live story as an opening. Right, okay.
No, I'm going to go straight to it. I took the
music from Radio 1 and stuff.
Give up. I took the book into school having not read it. And on the first day, some fucking nicked it. I couldn't believe it. So I never read it. So I've had this real thing about The Wheel in Space. I then watched it for the first time for this podcast.
Wow. Well, you know that book, Wheel in Space.
It's worth something as well.
Fucking £100 on eBay.
Hold on. How old was you when you went to school with this book?
I was in secondary school, so I was between. I don't know which 80s. Year I was in. Yeah, 80s. I was kind of like 1981 to 1983 to 87.
Okay, right. So this book was published in 88. So you were a late developer, weren't you?
Oh well, maybe it wasn't this one. Maybe.
Holy shit. You just had to ruin the story, Suky, didn't you?
Well, no, funny enough, no, on a very different note, I've always wondered if it was Wheel in Space. Oh no, it wasn't that book. It was the other one there.
Brilliant.
Well, my first ever experience was watching it for this podcast. Delete the lot.
There you go. And Craig,
okay. Yes.
What did you think of it? Do you like it? Is it good,
to be
bad?
honest? Yeah, it's very tepid. I wasn't in the mood for another missing episode. I can't lie about that. I wasn't in the mood for more audio drama, but I did listen to it in one go on Sunday afternoon, just lying out in the back in the sun. And I did enjoy it, but it felt like I'd been here before.
Okay, fair enough. Tepid, Craig. I'm going to go with a tepid. Suky, how about you? Give us your first thoughts, first experiences on this.
My first experience, obviously, is just the 2 episodes were put on the Lost in Time. What are you polishing?
Oh, sorry. I've started Morris dancing and just got these bells of eBay checking on, and I thought it was a good opportunity to just polish them. But
right, that's not what you're doing.
Was that disturbing you? Yeah. Sorry, I'll put them back. We should carry on, Suky. Sorry to rudely interrupt you.
That's all right. If you want to go around polishing whatever it was in your hand, you
he's polishing his balls.
Is that what it was? Oh dear me. We started as we mean to go.
I've run out now. I've thought of everything to distract you on your first thoughts.
Okay. The first, as I says, first 2 episodes, the missing on the Lost in Time box set, and I watched them. And then I read the book many years ago, 1988, when I first had it, which is just after I'd left school, Craig. Right. So I remember the book.
1888, wasn't it?
No need for the 2-finger salute there.
Sorry, I was saying 2 vodkas to Matt.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and and it wasn't memorable. It wasn't great, and the fan perception of this, it's not a great story. And listening to it again, because I never watched the audio reconstruction, listening to it, it is overlong but it has got a solid story in there, and I quite enjoyed the bits. If it had been condensed into a 4-part, it would have been brilliant. That's so.
Fair enough.
Yes, it's,
I'm gonna
it's
go. I'm
good,
gonna go
but
tepid.
not great.
Gonna go tepid. John, obviously your first experience, I'm presuming, with this adventure.
Well, well, Craig's story did remind me of in 1979 when I read this. When I read the Shoot 1999 out, out thing, it was the same. Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed
love you,
this.
John.
Yeah, don't give me that. I'm not the one drinking a pint of cum.
Mostly gone. I'm on to my second.
That horse is going to be knackered, isn't he?
I really enjoyed it. In fact, as much as you possibly can when 4 of the 6 episodes are missing. I think the story was great. The characters I thought on the station were brilliant. I loved them all. I thought they were great. It reminded me of Star Trek. There being a Russian and an Aussie and an Irishman, and it was great. The story didn't particularly seem overlong because the parts that were telesync went by quite slowly. But then, got some moving pictures. I'm really excited.
Cool.
But yeah, I love the story. I thought it was a great little story. Didn't like Patrick Troughton in it as usual.
You're not a fan, are you, John? You're not
But,
a fan of
but I did like seeing an origin story for Zoe. So
Yeah, that's nice.
I bet you did. Cliff.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this because it was a missing episode. It was just hard to get hold of stuff like that when I was young. So I wasn't looking forward to watching another telesync and animation, whatever I could find on YouTube. But I did get it together through IPT Torrent, and I really enjoyed it. I liked it because of there's a huge amount of character build-up, which sometimes you don't always get that. Obviously, the Doctor's not there because he pissed off on holiday, but I liked the way the characters. It felt like Coronation Street in space. There was loads of little cheeky moments in there, loads of bits of laughs, and I think I had the expectation that this is going to be boring and slow because you read all the people's comments about it. But maybe because I had that in the mind, I enjoyed it more. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Fair enough. I'm going to go beyond tepid for you. Fairly positive-ish. I did not buy this book, Target book, for £100 because I'm not mental.
You could have had mine if I'd actually ever had it, but obviously I didn't. As Suki pointed out.
But I did obtain a copy to read on my Kindle, and it was all right. It was Terence Dick's fair, fair, yeah, just fine. And then I got my 7-day free trial on BritBox. You can tell I'm Yorkshire, can't you? I'm fucking having that free. I'm having that free. So yeah, no, and it was all right. It was all right. But I do remember my first experience. This would have been on Lost in Time, the Lost in Time DVDs with the 2 episodes on there, 3 and 6. And there's that quite famous scene that they used a lot in Doctor Who documentaries about Patrick Troughton. There you go, Suki showing it for the YouTubers and Facebook watchers. Is that a bit where our ways? Because that was that was played a lot, wasn't it, on documentaries and stuff like that. So I remember that. But the thing that, and I just thought this was all right. I did listen actually to the audio CD, so I've done all 3. But the thing that really got me on this, that I thought that was fucking wicked, was that 10-minute animation on the Macro Terror bonus disc.
I watched that.
It's stunning. That's great. I'm not really a big fan of the animation stuff, but it's got the first 10 minutes of episode 1.
Really good.
Animated, and it looks great. And it ends with the seed. There you go, on that one. So there, Suki, thank you very much.
Oh, I didn't realise
the space seed pods going towards the wheel. So I'm kind of tepid. I think it's one that we've seen many times before in the Troughton era.
Yeah.
Space Under Siege. It's basically off the shelf Doctor Who, isn't it? Really. But I love Jamie, Zoe, and the Doctor. So that was a bit of a bonus. Right. Well, before we get in deep, we're going to have our first song, and we're really fucking scraping the barrel now on the D20, lads. We're pretty much left with Craig's choices. So
get in.
We're gonna round down. Let's see what we get. So I'm rolling.
Yeah, it could be anything. I remember my choices. Cool.
It's a 15, and it's Suki. Suki.
Oh,
right.
right.
It's not
Okay.
Suki.
Thanks, Mark.
That's Mark.
Don't be like that. These are all my choices.
Guess what he's fucking picked, lads. Guess what Suki's
It's
picked.
going to be something prog or
Ready?
rock.
You ready?
This is a prog episode. This is a prog show. I'm going to pick a prog.
Who's your personal favourite prog artist, Suki?
The waddy waddy.
Well, there's so many to choose from. I can't
Oh my
pick one
God.
right now at this moment.
Can't even pick
It's terrible. It's
What was your
sometimes I
first-
just think he's great, she's great,
Okay.
they're fantastic.
Well, what was the
and I
first?
just can't.
Suki, what's the first prog album you ever bought?
I've never bought a prog album.
Oh, you just download it. I get it.
No,
Okay.
I never had a
Yeah.
turntable to be able
Stream
to
it,
buy these sort of things.
Sucky's never bought anything. That whole collection of DVDs are all pirates that are behind him. And he's just,
Oi,
he's just printed off the covers very well.
I pack it in.
Anyway, do you know what you picked, Sucky? You've picked Jethro Tull.
Oh no, cool.
Did you do more than that Christmas song?
Yes.
There's no
I
way you
love
picked that.
Jethro Tull. I
Yeah,
love
One
it.
of my favourites, they are.
Yeah, of course.
They are.
He was great. He was, Jethro.
Yeah. Jethro Tull, Heavy Horses. This is Sucky's choice. Wow, Sucky. Wow.
I'm in awe of that.
That
Who
top
did
50
do this?
website that I went on to is paying dividends.
Oh my God.
And we've had two comments on the Facebook. One from John saying live, and one from Sucky saying woo.
Look, check it out, Bob. We've actually got 2 viewers, and one of them is me.
And
So I
one
don't
of
know
them
if
was
Oh, no,
it's
me.
we've got 3
Nice.
viewers now.
Who else
Hello.
is viewing? Oh,
Don't know.
Oh, we got somebody else.
Tell you. Look,
hello,
you.
whoever's viewing.
Hello, whoever's viewing the Facebook. Feel free to say hello
Yeah.
and get in touch.
Oh my God! If I actually go onto
Is it my
Facebook,
mom?
I'm there right now, live.
Fucking
Got it.
technology,
Got
isn't
it.
it? Amazing.
Mind
No,
blowing.
it really is just John and Sucky.
Watching it. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh.
People will catch up.
Oh,
There's
4
Have you got
people.
your facts already, Craig?
Pardon? Oh yeah, I have.
File already. Lovely. So we'll come back out of that.
Oh, it'll be dead obvious on here. I'm reading it.
It will be. Right. That was
Okay.
Sucky's choice. It was Jethro Tull with Heavy Horses. Of course it was. You're listening to Progtor Who, and we're reviewing The Wheel in Space. We're just about to get in deep. Before we do, Sucky, no, not Sucky, because you don't do this. It's Craig. I'm going to come to you for the fact file, please. Fact us up.
Facts in your well, we've mentioned a bit of this already. Really, the Wheel in Space is mostly missing. It's got episodes 3 and 6 that I found. The rest are gone. It's the 7th and final series of the 5th season, which was broadcast on the 27th of April to the 1st of June 1968. Obviously, Patrick Troughton, Fraser Hines, and Wendy Padbury making
Patrick
a debut.
Houghton. Who's Patrick
Oh,
Houghton?
give up! I get carried away when I'm.
He's trying to
I'm
out him.
remember. It's hard remembering. I'm doing the broadcast at the same time.
Yeah.
There's such a lot to remember
Carry on.
about it.
And to look so good on camera as well.
That just comes naturally, Sucky.
Oh.
I was directed by. I thought you said
Comes naturally.
Tarantino, and comes naturally as well. Directed by Tristan
are.
DeVico and written by David Whittaker. Produced by Pete Bryant or someone. And it was. I've said that bit already. Obviously, we've already mentioned that Patrick Troughton was missing from episode 2. Why was that, Cliff? Because you said it earlier on. I was.
On holiday.
It was on holiday. There was a body double that came in. Actually, I did think that when I was listening to it, he suddenly appears from nowhere in episode 3.
Bit tanned.
Bit tan, yeah. Oh, you can't tell that.
Yeah, a tan doesn't come across an audio, does it, Craig?
Yeah, it doesn't come across, or in black and white that much. The viewing figures were quite good, actually. 7.2, 6.9, 7.5, 8.6, the highest for episode 4, 18th of May, 6.8 and 6.5. And then that was mostly it. There was the poll of polls that we have to go. There was something else I'd say about it. I've completely forgot what it was, and I'm desperately trying to remember, but I can't. So I'm going to skip straight ahead to the poll of polls. It might just come back to me. So
That's fine,
just
Craig.
in case you
Amazing.
can't remember,
Smooth.
I know it's just really smooth and really comes naturally to me. John, how many episodes now that we need to do this at poll of poll from?
I mean, I'm just guessing at 241.
Is pretty much right. I ain't got a clue, but I'm trusting you because you're a man that knows his stuff. So 241. I want to know where you think it goes, guys. I'm going to go to Sucky first.
As I says, it's not a well-regarded story, but so I don't think it's going to be that high. So, and because it's missing episodes as well, I'm going to go 170.
Okay, let's go to Bob next.
Yeah, missing. I'm going to go 154.
Okay.
There we go with that.
I'm going to really shake it up as we're going live. I'm just going to go out of order and go John. I'm not leaving
Well,
to last.
I'd have thought before this, and I picked a random number out the air. 165. It's quite close to you guys, so I'm
165.
happy.
Okay, right. And then finally, Cliff.
190.
Okay, we do have a clear winner out of you all. You are all in the ballpark, to be fair, but Suky is the closest. He said 170, and he comes on 70. He's always doing that. He cheats every time. He comes out, it's 177, and you said 170. It was quite close, to be fair, because Cliff, you came in at 190. But you're all in the ballpark figure. Well done to everyone. We're all winners.
Well done, everyone.
Oh,
Well done, Craig.
that's lovely.
That was one of
off.
That was one of the smoothest fat files we've done. Literally,
Absolutely.
one of the smoothest, because that's how bad they are normally, listeners and viewers. Craig, you forgot to do previous episode and the one after
I
it.
knew it.
But it doesn't matter unless you've got the information. It doesn't
I
matter.
actually do know that. I know. I got it. I know that it was preceded by the Dominators, but I couldn't tell you what came before it. It's on here. Hang on. Fury from the Deep.
Fury from the Deep. Yeah. Brilliant. There we go.
Technically, it wasn't, followed by the Dominators.
Oh, because there's a season break.
Yeah, but it was followed by Evil of the Daleks because he was in the narrative again.
At the end. You mean the little snippet at the end? Well, it wasn't the full story of Evil of the Daleks, was it, Suky?
It was. They showed all 7 episodes.
Oh, did they?
Explain that.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, Suky. Explain
To
that.
cover the season, the break at the end of Wheeling Space and beginning of the Dominators, there was a break. To cover it, they put it in the narrative right at the end that the Doctor tells a story to Zoe to show her what she's informed with all the travelers. So what they did, he gave her mental images, and it was the story, Evil of the Daleks, showed a snippet of it at the beginning, but then for the next 7 weeks, they showed the whole story.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and then they went back straight into the Dominators.
I think Suky should do the fact file.
I think Craig should do the fact file.
I was an advocate for it, but it doesn't have the comedy value because it's a proper fact file as it should be.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, let's get into this. I always like to go at John first because he's watching it with fresh eyes.
I like that.
So, what's your thoughts on this? The wheel in space, John?
Well, I think there are. I mean, the elements that primarily make it good is that I was surprised to see Cybermen. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know it was a Cyberman story.
Oh, did you know?
No, of course I didn't. I didn't even know it fucking existed before I bloody watched it. The episodes wise, the first one's a bit slow, but when they get on the ship and we start to find out about the characters on there, and we can name them and put names and faces, and they've got distinct personalities and they've got distinct traits. I thought it was quite good. I'm not convinced about the armored shoes that are Cybermats.
The armored shoes.
They're a little bit shit.
Yeah.
Can I just say, John, I'm thinking of getting for my 50th birthday present, in case you haven't realised I'm 50 in 6 weeks. Cybermat's tattooed down my arm, and I was going to go with that design. Are you not advocating it now?
No, I'm. You can go with whatever design you want. You do you, Craig, as you always do.
You might, if you're gonna do that, you might as well get an extremely detailed dick on your head. That's how good that is going to look, Craig.
I have some bit of jizz coming out.
You know what? They'd be good as a pair of child shoes, though, wouldn't they? You know, like frog wellies.
Are they actually shoes?
Well, no. If they could be like some cool child shoes, couldn't they? Cybermat shoes.
They could actually.
I've seen worse shoes on people.
It's like those furry slippers you buy. I had one in the 80s of Margaret Thatcher and Neil Kinnock, and you can get like cute things now that are designs. You could have Cybermat slippers. That are furry.
Margaret Thatcher and Neil Kinnock.
Yeah, they were spitting image slippers. I got them for Christmas. I don't know about Mum or my brother, but I was quite political.
These sound the best slippers anyone could ever buy.
They were genuinely cool. I loved them.
Spitting image merchandise.
Anyway, as I've watched a lot of this out of order, when we saw that Zoe was there, I was very surprised as well. Happily so, thinking that she was. I didn't know I knew she existed prior to watching this, but this is the origin, and I was quite pleased to see her. And I think a character of being a brainiac is quite well laid out in this. And the fact that she's upset about the fact that people think of that of her, and I think it's a great little character. But you can tell throughout the whole thing, she's the the most rounded character. So it was obviously because they maybe workshopped it prior and before the script, and so she was a standout for it for me. Jarvis was an angry bastard.
Storms off all the time.
But I really liked the fact that he would just go off, because I've seen people that just go off when a slightest thing goes awry.
Do you know what I liked about Jarvis while we're on this subject is the fact it portrayed sort of management mental health. I don't know if they were doing that intentionally, but it was kind of like quite a good job. It was obviously a little clunky. It's the 60s, but it was management mental health. It was brilliant.
I mean, we see a lot of the women portrayed in this are all very sort of have great agency, and they are pretty much the proper thinking people on board. The men are a little bit flaky, but I do like what was she called, Gemma?
Gemma, yeah.
And you know, so when she died, it was a meaningful death. It wasn't just a throwaway thing. I was like, no, she's actually fucking dead. You can't bring her back. But so yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I think that the character stuff is the best part of it. The Cybermen story is second best. And
it
Zoe,
definitely is. Yeah, it's just the Cybermen are there, and that's their kind of little bit of peril. It's more about the crew, isn't it, and how they interact with each other. Suki, sorry.
yeah,
No, I was just going to say I agree with John in that it's a great story in having so many female parts in it, and that they do seem to have something to do with the story rather than just being a background character that comes across and gives the leading man a piece of paper to say this is happening.
I mean,
somewhere
the Coronation Street analogy is correct in the fact that they are proper characters in this. They contribute to the story. It's not all about Doctor and Jamie and Zoe.
Yeah.
It is about the whole ensemble cast, and there is a couple of dodgy bits in it.
I think the dodgy bits is more to do with the fact that you got accents, right? And instead of giving these people with these accents proper names, it's whatever that accent's name is. So, like an Irishman, Flanagan. Who's the other
An
one?
Aussie, Bill.
Yeah, Aussie Bill.
I think Tanya the Russian.
Rika.
Yeah,
They wouldn't get away with they wouldn't get away with Peter Laird, with Chang.
No,
there's stuff in the 60s which doesn't move on really, does it?
But it was, and a quick question here, Enrico.
Yeah,
I recognise the actor, and I don't know what else he's been in, but was he blacked up?
I didn't spot that, to be honest.
Spot that. But you say
The
black
swarthy Spaniards kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Let's have a look on his. What was it? I'll look on his who played him. It'll be on my. I'll remember it.
You're the fact man, Craig. You fucking find out.
What was it? What was the character called?
Enrico. I'll leave that with you, Craig. Cliff, what are you thinking about this episode?
Well, like I said, this because it's been the first time watching it. I obviously knew that it was a Cybermen, the book-ended one, to be the end. And if you've watched it in order, I'd probably be a bit disappointed feeling this to be the mid-series finale. But the fact that we're coming at it. New eyes looking at it for the first time. Also, it's really good fun when you're finding something you've not watched for ages. I really enjoyed it because of the characters, not for the Doctor. And I think having the Doctor go on holiday was a benefit to the story. If he was more involved within the story, I think he would have ruined it. You had some great parts, like John said, for Zoe, but also like you said, Jarvis. Oh, one thing as well, Jarvis's head. I honestly thought that was fake. I thought his head was so big.
Oh, you mean like
I didn't spot that at all.
a really amazing prosthetic on him?
No,
it's massive.
No, it's because I downloaded it. Well, I found it, right? And the one was all formatted wrong. Yeah. So that was a bit of a bugger for me. But Jamie. He really grew to me on this. Yeah. I don't really usually like him because
I agree.
Just too much like greats and he's like an obvious like Billy Connolly type all the way through it. But this, he did well because he had to take the story for himself and he had to think a lot for himself and some of the situations. I really enjoyed it. I didn't like the fact that the Cybermen was only a couple of them. I don't know where the budget went, rather on the other characters.
Well, there is a fleet, isn't there? And then they've got that really weird bit at the end where they're flying.
Yeah, I quite like that scene though.
And it's sort of like
it's weird. It's wrong.
Wrong.
There's a lot of acid going around at that time.
Oh my god, it was super 60s trippy. Like
you got the Cybermen eggs, and they're in the side.
Yeah.
Well, a question: because I was watching a telesync for the Cybermen eggs bit.
Yeah.
Those globes, Did they contain the Cybermats or Cybermen?
Cybermen, isn't it?
I thought they contained the Cybermats, but it was indicating that it was the Cybermen. But when they
Exactly my
attach to
issue.
the front, it says we've attached. It looks like some meteors hit us, and then the little Cybermats came out.
But
So
we
I
got a
associated that.
weird vision of a Cyberman inside it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Because you start to get the glow, don't you? Is it? And it kind of is all curled up inside like a fetal thing.
Which makes the constant storyline of they can't get on board the ship, how are they going to get on board sneaking in a crate thing?
Yeah.
Meaningless. So, but that was misleading, I think.
Yeah,
A little bit.
I did.
Okay.
Like I said, it was the first time I really enjoyed the telesync. Usually, it is a drag to get through, and I really hope that they put the money together to do the animation fully, because I think it will just rise up the numbers.
I have to say, this being a missing episode is another one of the instances where I would have loved to have seen it properly.
Yes.
Without having to do the telesync.
I said I didn't watch the telesync. I just did what Suki did last time, and I listened to the audio, and then I watched the 2 missing episodes. And I actually wished, listening to you two now, that I'd watched the telesync as well, or part of it. But I think if it was an actual animated story, it'd be much better. Because I'm missing out on some of the things you said. In fact, the bits you've described, like the eggs and the shell inside, I saw because I watched the missing episodes, and it did bring it to life. Because I listened to the whole 6 stories before 6 episodes before I watched the missing episodes, and it did really bring it to life. Which part I thought this would be cool animated. It would be really good. I mean, there was prospect, wasn't it? It was on my notes. That's what I forgot as well. Was it 2017? They hinted they were going to actually do this as an animated story, and they never have done to this
They did
day.
that. Was it 2018? They did the 10-minute one.
Yeah,
which is
I'm not sure what happened, or whether they're still doing it, or ran out of budget or something. But
well, they've gone elsewhere, haven't they? They've done others.
yeah, but there's loads of clever little bits in which really clever bits in which you don't see, and you can tell they've added him in, to obviously make it compact to 6-parter. So the food part, I thought was really clever, where it comes up with the little cubes where they wanted like a roast beef dinner and all this.
Standard space food, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
Servo the robot. I thought he was really great.
He was
wobbling along with the stuff.
Yeah.
I thought, that was
a shit dusty bin, is that one?
Yeah,
It wasn't. It was a shit.
but it was funny.
But on the animation, it looked really good. On that 10-minute little animation they did, it looked class. As did the space, as did the wheel in space, as did them space seeds going across and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a massive fan of the animated stuff, but that little 10 minutes, whoever did it was great.
So what's the version that's on BritBox?
Yeah, I wonder.
It's just the telesync.
A sort of limited telesync. I'd call it a limited telesync.
It's got descriptions when there is silent. We have photos and descriptions like he drags the body to the door, or he turns around and there's a Cyberman walking down the stairs and all that sort of stuff.
Is this the first time we see the Cybermen being able to brainwash someone just with that weird laser mind?
See, I quite like that, Mason.
I liked it. I liked it, but normally they're converted, or they've got some little device, in their ear. I can't remember a time when they've sort of projected it from their head like that.
It was for lying outside in the sun when that came up. It was the most exciting moment probably of the whole thing, when I could literally visualize the Cybermen with that little squiggly line coming out of its head, and I got quite giddy about that. So I think it possibly is the first time we've seen it.
I can't remember the
only time, I think.
Yeah,
well, they've had it when they put like headphones on people, or bits like that, haven't they? But I don't remember a time when it's kind of like a hit.
No. Because that then becomes a death ray type thing, doesn't it? They convert it from a conversion to a death ray. That comes later.
At the end, well, they've got their chest thing as well, haven't they? The chest thing. What do you think of the Cybermen in this? The look of them.
Love it.
You love it.
I like the face, but I didn't like the little teardrop mouth. I thought that's a bit silly. Looks like a little tongue coming out, wiggling.
I don't like the piggy. I don't like the 3-finger pig trotters. Oh my god, the 3-finger pig trotters.
I like that. When it comes out episode 2 and it comes out the pod or whatever it is, and it clenches into a bit. I quite like that scene. It's
kind of
hands.
It kind of makes no sense. Aren't they humans people that are,
Simpsons?
But I think everything's become mechanized within the body. It's only the brain that's been left.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got a feeling it was Toberman in the.
You just read that on the Facebook.
Thank you very much.
That's a good thing about Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to thank Doctor Who can Who Can Convince You podcast
Thank you very
for
much.
all this stuff.
It was, Toadman got hypnotized, didn't he? So it was in Team of the Sidemen. Brilliant. Thank you very much. That was an awesome reminder there.
The
know
thing
what?
that John was asking.
The
Sorry.
good thing about doing
Yeah,
a
I've got
Facebook
the
Live
answer.
is that all Craig's bullshit will be corrected online when he's wrong.
Well, that was my bullshit actually, because I thought they'd
Thank
never
you.
been done before. So
Well,
I'll stick up for you, darling.
Thank you. I'm just going to come back to the question before that John raised about Enrico. I think you probably were right because it was played by Donald Sumpter, which maybe back then suggests it.
I get the feeling. He was a
he's not-
policeman in something.
No,
Yeah.
he's quite a well-known character actor these days, but he
Yeah,
has
that's
been
what I
back
mean.
in Doctor Who. He was Rassilon, in the Peter Capaldi stories.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Was he?
Right.
he
yeah.
was Black
So
Top.
he has been back in Doctor Who.
Right. Well, there you go. So we like the Sidemen. The look of the
Yes,
Sidemen.
yeah,
in this.
very much so.
I
Craig
just
likes
think
it.
underused. I think they could have come in a bit more.
I think they opted to make it more character based rather than the threat of the Cybermen, because the Cybermen is a one hit thing. They appear, they do their bits, and
But
they
they're not-
effectively.
they're
through
Sort of
there.
like a side story, the Cybermen. The actual other
Yeah.
story of the characters and stuff was. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Like I says, I know I related it again to Coronation Street, but I could have continued watching this crew. You know what I mean? I could have gone next series. Yeah, forget about Doctor Who. I want to watch this crew, the adventures of this crew. What happened to them?
Well, I think it was kind of like it was the Sideman's pre-plan, wasn't it? That's why you only got two of them. It was quite, they were in it, but they weren't. Yeah, like I said, we were looking at the cast and things like that. But it was a pre-plan, wasn't it? You know, they were trying to get to the wheel to take it over to get the whole fleet, to invade Earth. So you only saw like the little bit, and the doctors nipped it in the bud, or the crew nipped it in the bud quite early on.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
Just saw the tip of it, didn't you? You know what I mean? That tip of the invading iceberg. Talking of which, should we have a song? Let's have a look. It's time for a song. Let's get this D20 rolled. So we had Jethro Tull from Suky.
It's going to be Craig's awful.
It's got to be
stuff now.
Craig.
Let's see.
Right, number 5.
I have no idea what you mean.
We're rounding down, and it's Iron Maiden. This is John's Iron Maiden.
Hey! Is it Ryan
rhyme-
the Mariner?
The Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner by Iron
Love
Maiden.
it.
What a fucking tune.
Love that song.
So literally, Craig, we're just going to be left with your songs,
We got any disco ones in there?
which is brilliant.
Yeah, there's some cracking.
All disco.
songs
There's
in
a
there.
Kylie one in there.
Yeah.
No, there's no
Uh,
Kylie. I'm not telling you what they are, John, because it'll spoil the excitement.
All right.
Your
then
delight.
let me know.
Amazing. I'm just going to highlight these so I don't forget what they are.
I just want you to know my computer's going absolutely apeshit at the moment. I have no idea what's gone crazy with it. So I hope you can actually still see me. I'm looking at a giant meeting Zoom, but it's
You're
just
a little bit-
little dance.
You're a little bit out of sync, but it's all right.
Yeah, I think the Wi-Fi is going crazy. I don't know, but anyway, we're full, so it might be what it is.
As long as you've got your recording still going, Craig. That's
As
all
far
that
as I know,
matters.
I'm trying not to touch it at all. So till it
What about
calms
the
down.
recording now?
Oh my
Craig?
God.
What about the recording?
You're not supposed to be on Grinder as well as doing this at the same time.
I've got, it's calmed down.
That's-
It's come back. It's come back
Come
now.
back.
There we go. I've got you back. There
That's
we
where he
go.
got his points to come from, though,
I
wasn't it?
don't know.
All these
Wow.
grinders are living
Oh,
round.
what is wrong with you, Sucky?
I don't
Sucky,
know.
can't
Ain't
believe
no
you
way.
went there. Wow.
What did I say?
Jesus.
Oh man, we're
Are
gonna
we
have
still
to...
recording? Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's all live right now.
You're live.
There
you're
goes
live,
Suki's
Suki.
good boy image.
Yeah, you're live, Suki, on Facebook on this one, my friend. Right, let's go back into the podcast then. Cool. Also, thank you to Who Can Convenience You podcast for correcting us.
Who can
Please
convenience
keep them
you?
coming.
Who
can-
can
is it-
convenience you?
Who Can Convince You? Sorry, Who Can Convince You podcast. I like that. Who Can
I can
Convenience
convenience
You?
most people.
brilliant.
It's basically the carry-on version of that podcast. But yeah, thank you for keeping us right and watching us. Right, okay, let's get back into this. That was Iron Maiden with the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner from John. What a song! And you're listening to Progtor Who. We're reviewing The Wheel in Space. We're having I think it's a good one. Never know with you guys. It gets a bit confusing and tangenty, which is great. But yeah, we've been fairly positive. Now, I don't know if it was just me, but you know when Jamie sabotaged the rocket, the way it was shot, okay, because it was on in episode 3, wasn't it? So you get to see it. So he pulls out a tray or a drawer, then it blatantly goes to something else, like cuts the camera cuts to a close up of something else, which isn't what he's just pulled out, and it looks like what he could described as a festoon of jism is spread across it to
Clearly shaving foam.
festoon of jism. I was going with John, or clearly shaving foam. Did anyone else notice this?
It never went through my head, actually, surprised, and that's what it was.
All I had is,
I
did think
festoon of jism has gone through Craig's head.
I'd had too much jism in that day.
I think we've got a theme for this recording at the moment.
Yeah, we have.
Because I'll start with Craig drinking horse semen at the beginning. Now, I think in my head, all I can imagine is Fraser Hines
live on Facebook.
How do you know this is horse semen?
My family's watching this right now, and they're going, "What the hell?"
I
man?"
apologise to them. It's not
Sorry.
me. It's Bob's
But
mind.
all I can imagine is Fraser Hines getting himself into character because Jamie going, "I'll fucking shite you!" And it's just everywhere.
Just lifts his kilt up and aims it on it.
Literally, that's what I thought for the rest of watching the Wailing Space.
At the beginning of this, we all said we'll tone it down.
Not happening, is it? It's not happening, which is fine.
That's actually make really good porn, wouldn't it? Could you imagine? You could do a Doctor Who porn of Jamie.
I bet there already is some kind of Doctor Who. Suky, have you got one?
Okay, you're gonna get a DVD.
He's
out
got
in a
one
minute.
out. He's got to put one out.
I am not going to pull out any Jamie McCrimmon porn.
Craig, put a 60s hairstyle wig on and do it yourself.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. Yeah,
There is. If you want to, you can just go and watch Outlander, because that's
Right.
back on Jamie.
Does he do it in
McCrimmon.
that? Does he?
There's loads of flipping all sorts of shenanigans in that one. It'd be right up your street, Craig.
Scottish porn, something called Outlander, as recommended by Suky. So the Wailing Space.
So he's obviously been watching it already.
No,
Right.
never seen an episode.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Wheeling Space.
Wailing Space. Hey, well, yeah, there's plenty to talk about, and I think one of the things that we've all particularly loved is the crew, and it was quite a big ensemble of cast, was it not? And there was the bog standard generic Irishman, who I quite liked, Flanagan. He was good. I think they were all good. Tanya Logov or whatever, the Russian lady, he was blatantly having a bit of shenanigans with it. Was he called Brett something?
Leo.
Yeah,
Leo, that was it.
Where she goes up to him, something about being scared, and he's like, "Don't worry, you can hold on to my hand."
No, but I like that the
I like that.
incident.
I thought it was great.
I like that the incidental cast can get an actual fucking romance into
Yeah,
it.
it's brilliant.
Great.
That's what I was thinking. I wanted more for the cast. I wanted going forward.
And it makes the end where she puts her hand on him, on his, not on him. It makes it all the more meaningful. Just like Gemma's death is more meaningful because
because you really got attached to them. Yeah,
But a
No,
lot
but
of
that's
that.
because he had nothing else to fill the story. It was. You're right. It's very character driven, but it just didn't feel like gritty Doctor Who to me because it was too. It lacked. It was possibly too overbalanced on the characters for me.
You're right. There was because it was too long, I'd say, and because there was no Doctor in one of the episodes. A lot of things had to be put onto the supporting cast, and so that's where you get all these little character pieces or character bits all the way.
Yeah,
and it does help the story, but. If it had been a normal length, say if it had been a 4-episode story, it would have been compact, it would have been quick, and everything
would have ruined it, though.
But you'd have lost all these character bits with the crew.
Yeah,
I think they're missing a trick there. More character base and have the Doctor accompany and solve the mystery with them.
But yeah, again, I mean,
you can have the characters come back and forth within.
You've got to remember that we're watching this as 5 very seasoned adults.
Yeah.
And when you're a kid watching these things, you don't give a shit about that stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
I mean, watch
You just want the Cybermen, don't you?
Yeah. The
You
kids
don't want
do,
to. You don't want to see the hand going over and the kind of the intimate. You just want the Cybermen, the Cybermats, and the electric effects or whatever. That's what you want. And I did really feel it was lacking it. It just felt very. It was all right. It just didn't do it for me massively because that didn't come through on the audio, perhaps like it would have done the telesnaps, and therefore it just seemed a bit tepid. To use Bob's.
Well, it was nice because you've got to have love in space. It's not all about jizzing in laser beams, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Not all about it, but that's certainly a part of it.
Well, there's clearly
to you, Bob.
That was where they were going, wasn't it? The hand went in, to the crotch area, and the next thing there'd be jizz. Simple as
Is
that.
that how it works, Craig? Is that how babies are made?
That's my understanding of heterosexuality.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Right, I'm going to come a bit quick fire now and come round
Oh,
for
good, do
your
it.
for your comment.
Already?
Well, we'll see what happens.
Oh,
We'll see what
wow.
happens.
1 minute, let me get me massive notepad out.
I've got
no
shit ton of
pud.
notes as well.
Excellent. This is going to feel the fire. I'm going to come to Craig first because he was gobbing on.
Well, I'm just going to say exactly kind of what Bob, Cliff and John just said. I haven't got loads of notes because I found it quite dull. But what I am going to say is I really quite like the humour in this. There was some cracking lines from Jamie to show off his lack of intelligence. Like when he interfered with Zoe's recording, and he was like, "Oh." And she played it back, and he's like, "How did you do that without making your lips move?" And I thought that was quite clever. And the same as, when they blamed him for the meteorites, and he goes, "I don't know anything about meteorites. I don't even know what they are." And then if you're comparing that with Zoe, who just comes across as this automaton, an almost human Cyberman, I think that was quite clever. John, you're shaking of the head. I
don't think she comes across as that.
Well, we have those two bits, don't we, where it's kind of like that's the second time someone's told me that I don't have any emotion. And I saw her as reflecting how you've got the Cybermen there as obviously the conversion, but her as the kind of mid-stage, too scientific, too impact, too.
I know it's your bit, and I don't mean to sort of argue the point on this one. But Zoe and Jamie's interaction shows the humanity in Zoe a lot clearer. Yeah. The way their banter and connection happens almost instantly.
Yeah, they do get on, which is nice.
I think she grows more as a character with her connection with Jamie on future episodes. She becomes more like you said, like less robotic.
Yeah.
Do you think the relationship started off because she's a bit scared of him? Because the first thing he says to her, he's gonna ladder her.
Oh, he was threatening to have her. Yeah, have her over his knee or whatever, wasn't he?
Have her over his knee and ladder her.
I don't get that feeling from the way she was acting with him.
No, I don't actually know.
I wasn't. I think she's just, when you say automaton or whatever, that's her. So when people are saying she's got no heart, she's got no this, she has. But the problem is that her job is not to have that. She's there to have the logic, to have the thing.
Well, that's what I was saying about the kind of, is she meant to be, for me, the midway of the Cyberman?
No, but yeah, it's a good point.
That line, logic merely enables one to be wrong with authority. It's a fantastic line.
Brilliant. It's a great line. Yeah.
It almost just seemed to me to really push Jamie's kind of unintelligence or simplicity and Zoe's kind of intelligence coming through. So
he's not unintelligent. He's just not aware of.
He's not aware of what's going on exactly.
Yeah.
I also
that's good though, because you've got the two polar opposites, and that's how you can more or less make a better relationship with the two yin and yangs together. And in the future episodes, it works quite well. That.
Oh no, I love them. I think I can't remember who loves them most, but everyone seems to love. I love this combination. They're a great TARDIS team. I love the way as well that Zoe sneaks into the TARDIS. And it's you just see the kind of the crate hiding these lies in it, and it's like the Doctor spots it. I really found that quite comical, because how did she get through those doors and into it without anybody seeing her? Because it's not like it's a big space in that TARDIS, is it? It's quite cramped around that console. I found that a bit.
I think
she's only a small girl, Craig. She's only a very small girl.
But I think with Zoe, what's one of the reasons why you like her is that she has a massive wealth of knowledge technically, but such a naivety to sort of life, really. And that's what Jamie kind of has. He's lived a life, but not just a life as a Highlander. He's lived this long life with the Doctor so far and seeing all these different things. So he's got the sort of life experience, and she's got the knowledge, and she plays that really well, and it kind of makes her likable. I think that's what I think. Yeah, I think Zoe's great, but because it's Seeds of Death as one of my first adventures of Doctor Who, that TARDIS team for me of the Doctor and Jamie and Zoe, just always very. I've got a big heart for all three of them together. Craig,
I like the way they started off. It kind of going back to Cliff's Knights before Coronation Street, and a bit like the Peter Davison era. You had the link back to the fact that Victoria had just gone, so you had the whole conversation at the beginning about why she's gone, and she's chosen.
That was a question I was going to ask. What was he so annoyed about at the start?
Victoria's the previous companion, and I think it was a matter of her going, and it just entered the dialogue. And I just thought it was really lovely to see. It was almost like when Adric went, it's that heartbreaking moment, and you get the next story of them all kind of moving on from it. And I quite like that because it showed again.
It was a good 10 minutes of 10 or 15 minutes of hangover, wasn't it? She wasn't just forgotten, which was quite nice.
You don't get that a lot in the classic series. The characters just come and go in an instant. So I really just coming in, because I have to be honest, like I said before, I wasn't excited about listening. I don't know why, because it's a story I've wanted to listen to, but I wasn't like chomping at the bit to watch it. And although, like I said, I did listen to all 6 episodes in one go because it did get me there. But that first 10 minutes really kind of softened me into it. It kind of made me, because it brought all the nostalgia. Or someone's just left, Jamie's a bit upset, the doctor's put it into perspective. I really liked that. And as a listener, sorry, as a watcher, as a writer, 10 minutes of nice, easy padding. But as a watcher, it kind of kept that continuity going for the story. So I like that bit to it.
Cool.
And that's, I think that's probably everything for me, to be honest. It just felt very traditional, like you said before, very traditional Troughton. Seen it before, nothing wrong with it, but very, very steady.
Yeah. Doctor in the storyline, be Doctor out of the box. John.
Right, I took a bunch of notes, episode by episode. The second Doctor really does have zero chill. He's always shouting, moaning and whining and wheedling, and it's terrible. Stop doing that. But he gets just, no, all the time. Shut up, Doctor. You're in control. Be in control. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, it's good to get that, because Troughton's always conveyed to be the clowning joker in the room until he switches in turns and takes charge. So yes, maybe he's quite whingy in this one, actually.
He is a couple of times. What the hell is a time vector generator?
It's what keeps the transcendentalness of the TARDIS to the interior, the outside.
Well done, Bob. Well done.
That was just random words.
Well done.
And then, I mean, the servo robot getting defeated by a sheet was a particular highlight. Episode 2, I wrote, at last, moving pictures, and then nope, it's not. No. And I think this is one where Tanya and Gemma are portrayed particularly as thinking women, and
very strong.
They're the ones who are sensible, and like the men who are the ones that are flaky.
It's kind of like the women are in charge, isn't it? Underlying in charge, and let the men think they are. And I like that's how it's done.
I'm not sure. The problem with that is that they really should be in charge of the ship, and not Jarvis and people like that.
Yeah,
but there you go. Somebody mentioned the kilt being a barbaric garment, and I did enjoy that. And Jarvis loses his shit far too easily.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the Cybermen eggs at the end of that one. Episode 3. Episode 3. I've got a bunch of notes on this one, but I'll sit them down. The Cyber Planner is an interesting thing. The voices for the Cybermen I thought were good. Not so much for the Cyber Planner, who was enunciating things in a weird way.
Yeah, it was strange. Yeah. It was strange, but it looked quite weird, and again of the time. But this kind of like a transparent brain or something, wasn't it? It was quite an unusual design.
One of the pull back to Earth idiots is one of the quotes, and I do like the idea that there are isolationists on Earth. In the same way that some countries are isolationist. The Cybermats, when you see something like that, clearly a metallic thing, you don't say, "Oh, you're a strange little creature." You say, "What the fuck is that?" That's what you say.
And then hide it in a cupboard.
Put it
back in there and open it up again. Yeah.
And if you're on there, on a ship in the middle of space, and you see some sort of space bug, you don't just immediately go, "Oh, you fucking shit yourself," and run around and say there's something on board. It's not good. I like the fucking hell. Here we go. Go on.
I'm just going to say, John, the character.
Let me get to the end, and then fucking come back when you rejoined us.
I'm just going to say about that character was. Oh, I hate you, John. Right, was that he is a person that goes around studying fauna and weird things and stuff.
Yeah, even worse. He should have fucking realised it's a metal object.
Okay, maybe. Carry on. Go on. I'm not arguing with you, John.
I didn't like Leo having a go at Zoe for being a proper little brainchild, all brain and no heart. And I've written, "Fuck him, leave off my Zoe." So
I tweaked on that one.
I think she turned him down.
Yeah, turned him down. He's raging.
If you'd have seen her in that catsuit later on when TARDIS,
Yeah.
Bill, the Aussie engineer with his wavering accent. It wasn't quite Aussie.
Yeah.
The accents were dodgy, weren't they?
And
All
there's a
of them.
guy called Rudkin who was attacked and killed. Was he killed? I can't remember, but he's attacked by the Cybermats. Worst actor ever. And we get a close up of him screaming as they attack him, and the camera closes in. And I do love it when you get a close in on a screaming mouth, and you can see the shadow of the camera on his face. basic stuff, Doctor Who. Come on, get a grip. The Jamie and Zoe banter does start in this episode, and you can kind of see that Tanya fancies Leo, so love is in the air. I think the Cybermen voices are weird, but I think the design of them is what I expected the Cyberman to look like in the early years. I don't think it was different.
Here's a question for y'all. Random question. What's your favourite Cyberman design ever? Because I had to think 80s. Because I had to think about this. Do you know what mine is now? The season 12, 3, before they come Time Lord Cybermen. Them new Cybermen in season 12 are fucking brilliant because it's kind of like a bit of everything. You've got the sort of helmet handles, the teardrops on the eyes, and a bit more modern and splendid. I think that's my personal. Before that, I would have said 80s Cybermen.
The 80s are cool. But when you see when you see the kind of the snow boots, but they are
the cricket gloves.
Yeah, I always think 80s because that's the first time I saw the Cybermen. I loved it, and then I think they were made amazing when Russell T Davies brought them back. But you are right that the one that Chibnall created was absolutely.
I think they're design-wise brilliant, and I mean my favorite I think would be the Telos Cybermen, just because of the creepiness, eeriness, and particularly when they brought them back for Capaldi. But I think that's pick one. Season 12 before they became Time Lords.
They've all been good in their own ways. That's the thing. They've all been. It's nice. I wish there was a chronology kind of image of where it is, because you've got the parallel universe built in there, haven't you? Which makes it complex.
I'd say Revenge of the Cybermen and the Invasion Cybermen are not the best Cybermen, but the Invasion Cybermen look great when they're coming down at St. Paul's Cathedral.
And they've got absolutely no bundles, though. I'd hate to think that is what the human race develop into. Cybermen with no bulge.
It's not all about pouches, Craig. It's not all about pouches.
For some people, it is.
All right.
What's your favorite Cyberman, Cliff? Design, do you think?
I like the 80s just because I was obviously growing up then, and I have to admit I prefer the Russell T Davies one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
they were a decent design, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought when they brought them back, it was just they can't overdo them though, can they? They can't go too wild with them, however way they want to try and move with time, but they still got to try and move with the time and move with the generation and hit something each time, because you know what I mean? You got like Daleks. If you brought Dalek out new and nobody's seen it and think that's part of shit, but they can't move with the time. They have to just change little bits. Yeah. Come on, if you've never seen a Dalek before and it suddenly appeared in a sci-fi program, you think, what the shit is that? Someone's not thought about that. That's an upside down bin. But because you grew up with it, you love it because it's retro and they can't change it that much because a ton of fans are going to go, whoa, can't do that.
True. They have tried though, only on paper. Yeah. John, do you have a favourite Cyberman design that you've seen?
Nope.
Excellent. Do you want to carry on with your thoughts then?
Yeah. Okay. We're at part 4. I don't really remember them.
I'm just going to check Grindr while you're doing this.
All right then. I've in my type notes I've written, and I've taken the time to underline and bold this. It says Jarvis can fuck off. I think I must have been upset at some point of him there.
You don't like Jarvis, John?
And Jarvis was having none of the Cybermen existing, or these are from Mondeo. I don't know where.
Mondo.
And the Doctor gets very wheedly at that point. And it really annoyed me. And what do you think? This is a jet heliport. It's a great fucking line. I don't know what you think, but that's great. The Cybermen killed a guy and chucked him in an incinerator, which is a bit harsh for a children's program, I find.
Yeah, done off camera.
Well, yeah, I know, but still, even so.
And it was never explicitly stated that it was somebody going in.
It doesn't have to be implicit when it's fucking explained in the story, does it? No. Bill got electrocuted, which was upsetting because I quite like Bill. I recognise the actor, but I can't remember where from. We get to part 5 at this point because I've written loads of notes. You're getting basically all of them now. I'm sorry, lads.
I'm ticking off mine actually. It's usually Suky this one.
That's all right. You carry on.
I love the Flanagan, the Irishman, smacking the hypnotized crewman's head repeatedly against the fucking bulkhead like a proper boss. The impassivity of the Cybermen is what got me this time. The callous way they deal with people, and I can understand watching that. How you guys think of Cybermen as like big baddies?
Yeah.
And they were going Phase 6 and Plan 3. Their organisation was shit though at this point, wasn't it? And the meteors coming down. This is when I realised that Enrico was possibly blacked up, which was not good. And Leo telling off the doctor when the doctor starts to whine again, and I'm literally fuck off at this point. I love that the meteorites are perfectly spherical. Perfectly spherical. I'm not sure that's how meteorites work, but hey, I'm not a pro. And then we get to finale. Jamie and Zoe's little moment on the ship, on the rocket or whatever, was nice. And I saw them getting together. I was a bit upset when I saw, not upset, but I thought it was quite a meaningful moment when Zoe legitimately was talking, I think it was to Gemma, about how she feels like a freak. And I think that was great writing. Yeah. It was great character development for her. Brilliant. It was a great way of engaging with a lot of fucking Doctor Who kids who probably thought the same about themselves. So that was good. So the chemistry between Zoe and Jamie is clear and believable at this point, and I could tell that this is planned from the very start. They kind of beat the Cybermen at the end really quickly.
Yes.
Not quite sure how that happened. No. I kind of missed it.
It's a really crap ending.
Yeah, and I thought at the end, the actual ending, the chicken dance of the Cybermen coming in from space was weird. I don't know.
Brilliant.
That psychic clip of a Dalek episode for Zoe was a really, really clever and well done way of ending the show. I thought it was a really good idea. So it gets a lot of ticks for not the whole story was a little bit flawed, but it gets a lot of ticks for the fact that they did some things really well.
But you enjoyed it, John. Yeah. That's the main thing. You definitely enjoyed it. Excellent. Cliff, let's get some final bits off you, my friend.
Yeah, so I've got a few things written down, but John said a lot of them. But
fuck you all.
Hopefully we get everything before Suky hits it. So I don't know if we mentioned yet, but it was the first time we used John Smith.
I wondered that. I was on the question I wanted to ask. I thought it might have been because obviously,
and he got it from a bit of equipment,
equipment called John Smith's, which might have had some beer in it or something. John Smith's beer, which I really like. I look like I said, I love the auto kitchen. I like that. I thought that was really clever. I did enjoy when it was. Did you notice the jumpsuits as well? What Zoe
they were cool. Yeah, they were cool.
Different, bit of camel toe in that. It was really good. Also, the Jelly Baby moment. Instead of Jelly Baby, it was a lemon sherbet.
Pre-Jelly Baby.
Yeah, well, it's a lemon sherbet instead. Which is good. The food pills, the heroic sacrifice I put down for Gemma.
Really she was brilliant. Gemma was
brilliant. Cyberman was badass at fighting. You know what I mean? Throwing mans across the room. That was good.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good the way that he picked Jarvis up and lobbed him. That was quite.
Because we've had it before where you've seen it obvious on a big shot and it's blatantly a dummy and they've thrown whatever.
Yeah, they cut it well.
They cut it really well because they went to the screen and he kind of couldn't quite see it, so it looked spot on and real. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought even though it was the telesinks, I like the sounds behind, of the space sounds. It seemed to accompany it really, really quite well with the telesync as well. It wasn't a lot of music, but you could feel like you was in space. Like your David Lynch. There's something there. There's like a hum or a drum of going on. I'll put that down. I enjoyed
ambient
that.
Noise.
The ambient, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thanks, John.
Nice.
The bit where Zoe comes out of the box at the end, I just felt, what would have been perfect is the doctor just rubbing his hands. I thought that would have been really
good. Oh my God. You're fucking sick, bro.
That would have been wrong, Cliff. That's what it would have been wrong.
It done nothing the entire
maybe when she came out of the box, you could have gone, whoa.
Yeah, but that's too obvious, isn't it? You could have just looked at the camera and gone.
Well, one thing I did want to comment on, just to bring it back away from the pervy shit, was
Says you in the picture.
the Doctor. Just a picture of a girl. I don't know what you're talking about. Just the Doctor trusting Zoe's calculations implicitly. I thought that was quite a nice way of showing that he trusts her already, and that's why he was happy for her to come on board, I reckon.
Which is nice, because later on, if you remember, the last one we watched of these is when the space pirates, and she kind of accurately projects the way in which that capsule they're once again trapped in goes, and he's like, "Oh, Zoe, stop being so cynical," or whatever. It's nice. It's got that relationship going through straight away. I'll shut up now because I've realised I've babbled.
That's all right.
One
thing I get as well is similar to what John was saying, but it's the unusual side of using people what wouldn't have necessarily been looked at as the hero. You know what I mean? In the past, you usually go to the commander, to the captain, to maybe the second in charge. But Zoe was, to be all sense of purpose, an analyst. You know what I mean? Could have just been any analyst or statistic person at the side, and she gets listened to. Even though Doctor is a bumbling idiot most of the time throughout this, he understands which one of the important people to go to and listen to, which I thought was very clever to do. And like I said, it's I don't know which guy written this. Sorry, you know,
it was David Whittaker who was script editor, but it was based on the story by Kit Pedler.
Yeah, you know what? It felt like it was written as a woman's point of view as well, which I thought was really clever. Like, there's a lot of strong bits for the women in there. I enjoyed it.
You're getting towards the end of the 60s, aren't you now, as well? So
yeah, it's sort of empowering.
Burning the brass.
Yeah, burning the brass.
Bra burning time and all that, you know. And it's great to see, and it kind of makes more sense. I think when you're looking at things in a more modern context now.
Also, has that ever happened, or am I being daft because I don't remember? But has he ever took that thing off the TARDIS before to turn it just into a police box?
We've had the damaged fluid link before, where he's had to get mercury. Yeah, that kicked off Doctor Who pretty much, didn't it? But no, that was just something that again made.
He's never used it since then, had they?
And not that I'm aware of, but also it was probably to use it as a weapon. You know,
yeah, it needed somehow to bring something in as a weapon,
which that did the job. And then, and also, it's very much like a bit Seeds of Deathy. Oh, quite a lot of Patrick Troughton songs like Moonbase, but it's the bit where the way he kills the Sideman, where he knocks up a gadget that has that thing that can electrocute its brain or whatever. Because he makes that device, doesn't he, in Seeds of Death as well, where he can zap them and all that. There's quite a lot of Patrick Troughton bits going on that he'd done, I think, maybe one or two times before.
All in all, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised that he enjoyed it.
Lovely. So you're happy, Cliff? You're happy. I'm liking it. The only one thing I want to add, I don't know why I picked up on this. That was I don't know if it's just a sci-fi trope, but it was a couple of Expanse references. And I don't know if the Expanse probably hasn't used them, but it was when Gemma mentions about Jamie not drinking the water and how precious water is in space. It's quite an obvious fact. But is it just a sci-fi trope?
But great point.
And the second one, someone's dad got killed in the belt, the asteroid belt. And I just thought of the Expanse again with the belters. So there's people working out in this asteroid belters. So yeah, I was thinking about getting a belter tattoo on my neck as well. But yeah, so I thought it was quite nice to tie in another one of my favourite TV shows as well. Right, Suky, we're going to come to you now for some final comments, if we may, please.
Wait a minute, let's get prepared.
Hold on, I'm getting on.
Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I can see. Oh, look at that. Crisps. Or is it jelly babies? Well, the midget gems. And John's gone. He's left. Right, I'm going to surprise you all because it's been a busy week for me. I've not really done any notes.
Yeah, but also, Suky, there was no footnotes, was there, in this one? There was no information text.
Whether there was footnotes or not, I have got tons of reference books in the other room. I could have just pulled them all out and had a good rip through.
You're getting lazy. You're getting lazy for the podcast.
No, I have been busy on other things, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so upset about not having notes for this wonderful story. Right, because there is a few things that I'd like to mention. I do like the fact that episode 1 is basically a two-parter. right, between Jamie and the Doctor, and it's sort of reminiscent of the arc in space where that was just a three-parter with the main Doctor and the companions, and I really did like that. The fact that it's such a diverse crew on the ship is just a delight to see, right, for 60s television. The fact that most of the women all the women on there have things to do rather than be just decor in the background is great. I do think the Doctor is good in this story. He does have loads of things to do, but the main highlights is Gemma Corwin. Is the Doctor, the Dr. Gemma, right? She's great. She knows what she's doing. She's bossing things around. And then she does the heroic sacrifice at the end, right, to be able to save the crew, right? It's just
brilliant,
wonderful.
really meaningful because you got connected with that character. It's great.
Wonderful telly. I do like the fact that everything that is happening it's a good. Everything that's happening on screen is well told. It's a wonderful story, but I do think it is too long. It is too long, this episode. There should have at least one, maybe two episodes. It should have been able to compact it in, right, and make it a really tight story.
Well, would you worry of losing the interest in the character development if they would have cut it so down, and then you wouldn't have been invested so much into Gemma's death or Zoe or
you would have lost the background for some of the characters, but not all of the characters. You would have lost, say, Tanya and Leo's little banters, right? You could have lost all that. You could have lost everything about.
But you also wouldn't have been quoting their names like we have been. We probably more quoted the characters'
It's only
names
because it's an extra long story that they've had things to do. I'd rather have had a tight story, right? 4 episodes, everything happening, quick, action paced, and it would have been a classic rather than a very good story that's a bit too long.
I think with this one, I would agree with you, Suki. But after watching that little bit of animation and then thinking about it a bit more, I think if we this would come back from the archive, I think it would work really well as a 6-parter. And this, if the same was said of the Web of Fear or the Enemy of the World, that wouldn't work as a 6-parter. And when you see that in all its glory, it's brilliant. And I think someone said the same when we reviewed the Space Pirates as well. If it had come back, because I don't think with it, even if it was fully animated, I don't think you get the same thing as you would do from the full TV thing. It's something I maybe would like to see back now, just to see this cast, because the cast in the Space Pirates were nowhere near as strong as this ensemble. I don't think.
I would love to see this animated. Love to see it animated.
Yeah.
Right, as a 6-part story, and then I'll be able to see properly. Address it properly, right, as a visual thing rather than an audio with telesnaps.
What you should do, Suki, is you should go to art college and then do it yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking go to art college.
I'd love to.
Go to art college.
Do it Lego.
Stop fucking complaining about there being no animated one.
Stop motion Lego.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm complaining that the fact that it was too long. That's all I'm complaining about.
You got a small attention span. That's what it is.
Decent about it,
I'm a
Suki.
child of the 80s. I ain't got an attention span.
Child of the 80s by ass.
Broken Suki.
Child of the 70s then.
Cool, is that you done, Suki?
Too much drugs.
That's all, yeah.
Too many fucking, big massive bifters and that. And LSDs, probably.
Dear me.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, everyone. It's time to put some Jamie's jizz out of 10 on this.
Yeah.
Jamie's jizz and laser out of 10 on this. Right, we've got technical issues because Craig's lost his sound.
Has he?
Fucking, I don't know.
I wonder why he went quiet.
He says, I've lost all sound. Okay, just don't ask me anything. Craig, how do you feel about it? I'm going to ring him out. It's all live. Live.
Yeah, ring him and put it on audio.
Yeah, what really? We've not had such a technical hiccup with Craig for such a long time. Craig Stimson. There he is. Put him on speaker.
Got you. You just come back on.
There you go.
All right.
It was how weird was that? I thought, and it just came on.
Did it?
It just went. It was. I heard this. and then the sound just went, and then literally,
Are you still recording?
as far as I know, yeah. Well, I'll look again. It was hard to tell.
Don't look, because I don't want to know.
Have you got a maybe some sort of device that's connected to you, like via the internet, which is like a ring device?
No, it just literally went. I was like, listen to her, and this laughed. I wasn't even moved. This like this massive, and it went, and it's like.
One of his guests.
You missed all the best bits up, Craig.
I could tell it was really infuriating because I'd watch you all, and I suddenly thought, oh, they're gonna at some point mention me, and they won't realize I can't hear a word what they're saying.
No,
but now we've like got through it, and
where are we?
Needs to know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's why I said just don't ask me anything, and then no one will know. And we finished the podcast.
Well, no.
I don't know. I don't know where we're at because it was silent. It was
we're
Just
gonna,
around the house bit.
No, we're going to put
Craig
some.
just wants to go off for his meal, doesn't he?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
we're gonna
I
put
was
some-
like, it was a surreal experience.
They'll have to
ever.
fucking wait. These people, you going for a meal, Craig.
Oh,
We've not finished yet.
I was so cross about that. But
We've
that's
got
a
Mark.
different
We've got
story.
marks out of 10. All right, so let's do this. Okay.
Oh, that is so nice to actually hear your voices again. Like,
Good. I'm glad.
Nobody's
Craig.
ever said that before.
It's also brilliant to hear yours.
Oh yeah, right. I'm such full of wisdom. Right.
Okay, so how many
Full of horse
Jamie?
cum.
I didn't realise horses were so runny. Actually, I thought it was more like just like
Fucking
what?
hell! There's actually a job.
Literally horse racing. There's literally horse racing. Of
sure
course,
that ain't
they're
just-
running.
Sure, that ain't just mixed with some vodka or something.
Look at his face. Of course it is.
Come and vodka. I'd be quite interested.
Oh, fucking
She's on the
hell.
rocks. Anyway, carry on.
But literally make it and put it on someone's
Stop
body.
it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
That's like a Neil Diamond song.
It's on the rocks.
Come on, the rocks.
Right,
There's
where
a-
are we actually at in the podcast?
There's an actual job where you can wank off a horse as well.
I don't do
It's
that.
a horse wanker. Yeah,
Yeah.
they get people to wank off horses.
Or if you don't
Massive.
want to do a job about it, you can just go into a field and find a horse and wank it off if you want.
Yeah,
Craig. I mean, it's up to you.
randomly. Yeah, you don't have to
Oh,
get
he's lost us again.
qualification.
He's
Have
lost
you
us again.
No, I've not lost you again. I've not lost you again.
Sucky's googling it.
Right.
I dare to look at it. I looked across to Audacity.
Let's get on with it.
Hello, Facebook and YouTubers. Matthew's like, what? Right, okay. How many Jamie's jizz droplets on a laser would you mark out of 10 on this? I'll come to you first, Craig. How many jizz droplets would you get?
I'm going to go with
Sorry.
a tiny dried up 6 jizz droplets.
Oh,
Really been
6.
exhausted. I feel like I've been here before. It's a bit exhausted. It's come a few times already, and it's just pushing out its last bits now. It's kind of, it feels a bit tired, to be honest.
Oh
so
man, we were going to do this cleaner because it's on Facebook, but it's not fucking worked, does
this
it?
is cleaner for me.
Wait a minute. It was an email from Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh man,
Urgent. Cool. Right. Suki, how many Jamie's jizz droplets on theirs would you give out of 10 on this one?
It's a good story that's just stretched too long, so I'm going to give it 7.
Fair. Cliff, jizz droplets out of 10.
I'm going to
Jamie's.
give it 9.
Whoa.
'Cause I
Oh
really
my God.
enjoyed it because, like I said, I came at it thinking, "Oh bloody hell, I've got 6 part or half of it. I'm just going to have to watch telesnaps and stuff." But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
I wish I felt that way.
Fair enough. John.
I'm gonna also give it a 9 as well.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
This is incredible scenes. 9. So yeah, strong story for you. You like Zoe, don't you, John?
Do you know what you're
Um,
talking
I'm gonna be slightly not as positive for you, and I'm gonna give it 8 Jamie's jizz droplets on a laser out of 10 on this one as well. Right, okay. Before we find out what you think, because you've heard what we think now, it's time for another song. So I'm just gonna roll this here, D20, and find out what we're scraping from the barrel next. Let's have a look. 12. Not Craig again. It's shit. There's going to be an episode.
You're doing this deliberately. I don't believe those dice. I don't believe.
I'm rolling. Honestly, I'm rolling it fair, and I think we're going to.
Bob,
gonna end
Bob
up-
doesn't
end
fudge
up
his
with-
dice rolls, Craig. He doesn't.
No,
I am that's one of the things I am honest with is my dice rolls. Yeah, so it's a 12, and it's Sheps. It is the Stone Roses with Waterfall.
Nice.
Here we go. Right.
Oh, I was hoping you could actually play it.
I love
So
that stuff.
listeners' feedback up next, gentlemen, which
Yeah.
is Suki's kindly popped in here. Lovely. Right, it starts with Mark. Awesome. So let's get into this.
Oh shoot, we're doing feedback. Hold on.
Yeah, listeners' feedback to say when you're ready,
Sorry.
everyone.
Hello,
Hello,
it's too
Facebook.
hard for me. Oh, sorry.
Hello, YouTube.
Ready?
Hope you're all right. Got any more comments? I don't really know how it works. People might be listening.
They are
Uh,
listening. There's about 6 of them on there.
Yeah, but how many of you watch?
Six.
How many
Five
of
of us
you?
on this pod?
Yeah,
how
5
many-
of us
how-
on the pod.
Who's watching it live on YouTube right now?
I've clicked it off to get the thing. Yeah.
Right, cool.
I
So we've
have.
got so right, lovely. So we have 5 people. So 4.
It's going down.
maybe.
It's going
Yes.
down.
Which sounds like it's most of us. Right, listeners' feedback. Okay. That was the Stone Roses waterfall. Cliff's choice. Right.
Right.
You've heard what we think about the wheeling space. It's time to find out what you think. Your listeners' feedback. Would you kick us off, John, please?
Mark Atkinson says, although I've seen Eps 3 and 6 many times before, first on the Cybermen, the early years VHS, and then on the Lost in Time DVD, I've never watched the Recon and the story in full until now. It's not a fan favourite, this story, and you can sort of see why. It's a little slow and not the most engaging story, but I have a feeling if this one did return to the archives, people would rate it more. I'm not sure what the Cyber were all about, but the Cybermen themselves certainly look impressive, and the base under siege format is once again in full swing. For what it is, I really quite enjoyed this watch, so thanks for choosing it, guys. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Laters, M. Cheers, Mark.
Awesome. Cheers, Mark. Craig.
Dwayne Bunny, these are the spookiest Sidemen for me. I was very excited by the animation tease of this one a couple of years back. Looking forward to when it finally gets released.
Awesome. Thanks, Dwayne. Dwayne is yet again contributing to our next bonus episode of Time Lord Victorious. He kills me nuts. Thanks, Dwayne. Suki.
We have Who Can Convince You podcast, who are currently watching us live, I believe.
Yeah,
Right.
he is.
Hello, guys.
They are.
Right,
Hello.
and Dave says, God, I bloody love this story. Introduces one of my favourite companions into my favourite TARDIS team. Nice story, done well. Everyone else seems to hate the thing, but please animate it. Please.
There we go. Thank you
Go
very
to
much.
college, mate. Spend a few years, go to college, learn how to draw.
Yes,
Suki's
thanks
going
for
to-
the advice there, John.
Yeah.
Well done,
All right, sorry.
And
Grandad.
also thank you very much for being of assistance to us and our
Yeah.
our sort of so knowledge on this episode. Cliff, you go next, my friend.
Okay, we got DWSSG. What does that stand for? Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
I'll find out. You guys carry on.
Sexy guys or something. Good, if not
Wait.
great story. The Cybermen's plans are even more torturous than the Daleks in Resurrection. And there's only 2. I said that. A bit slow in places and takes ages to get going. Second half better than first. Cast are good. Zoe is fun. And Pat takes an obvious like to Gemma.
There
Right.
we go.
The DWSSG stands for Doctor Who Solitaire Story Game.
Cool.
There you go.
That's nice. Nice.
That sounds like is it like actual game, Suki?
Looks of it, it is. There, writer of There and Back Again, Middle Earth Tour, Captain's Blog.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna have a look at
Sounds
that.
cool. Sounds cool. Hello. Finally, we finished with Paul Fober. Zoe joins the TARDIS crew in a heavily padded Cyberman story, set largely aboard a besieged space station and involving some spaceships that surround it. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you very much for everyone for writing in. It's time now to vote for who we think is the best host. It's time for this month's Benny.
Benny!
So Facebook, just to let you know, my girlfriend's just said, Alfred, that's my son, is watching his daddy and just asked what jizz droplets are.
It's what made you, son. It's what made
Oh
you.
my God.
You know, hello, Alfred, it's daddy. You all right? Fucking hell. I'm kind of hoping Deb's parenting has taken over and stopped Alfred from watching his daddy and his friends on the internet. Should have put our rating on this episode. Anyway, it's Benny time. So, who do we think has been the best host? It's time to vote for this month's Benny. Suki, will you please cast your first Benny vote?
Best house is John. John
Wow.
is just so enthusiastic about the story. It was going to be John or Cliff, but John seems to be more enthusiastic. He had loads of notes, so I didn't have to do anything. Right, so yeah, so it saved me a lot of effort. So John.
Just like take your seats, put in it. Me loads of notes so you don't have to do fuck all.
That's it. Yeah. When are we going to start that up again?
And you edit it as well. I need to do everything.
I mentioned it to you around January, Suky, and we've not done anything about it since. So
Been busy, though, haven't he? Been busy,
yeah,
apparently.
it's been busy.
Been busy.
D&D master
I've been
blaster,
playing
man.
D&D, haven't I? You
We'll be
know, that's
back,
taken
we'll
up
be
all
back.
my time and effort.
Oh, hang on a minute. Whoa. So, Suki, so you turning up once a week on a Monday to half-ass your way through a game of D&D.
Half-ass.
taking up all your
Half-ass.
time.
How dare you say that?
Must
Half-ass
admit,
my way through.
you have improved your
I
role
am
playing.
finger wagging here on YouTube here.
But your co-host and editor and producer of the Turkey Seas podcast, which everyone is missing with this feed, is having to write a campaign every.
And
every
I am very
day.
And
grateful for
gave you a whole episode just for your story development
we
last
had to
time.
follow you
But that's
around
fine.
while
That's
you were a
fine.
fucking horse or a black bear or whatever you were, or a monkey. I can't remember what you were last time. Was it a giant ape thing? Yeah, that was cool. Anyway, D&D. What were we talking about, Benny? So John is your vote. Craig.
I'm actually voting for John as well. It was the positivity and the picture behind and the energy he brought to the story. He made me refresh how I'd kind of seen it, and the copious amount of notes, like I said, kind of made me feel quite embarrassed. So yeah, John, absolutely my Benny this week.
There we go. 2 for John. Strong. John, you might as well have your vote while you're here.
Jesus, I don't know now.
A lot to take in, isn't
I
it?
suppose for actually managing to get this on Facebook, I'm going to go for you, Bob.
Thanks very much.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
it's
you put into it.
it's currently streaming on Facebook, but
There's 5 people watching it, and 5 of us are here. So good work. Good work.
I'm loving watching us guys. It's great. Well, thank you, John. I'll take that 2 for John. 1 for me, Cliff.
I have to go to John.
Yeah.
Simply because he loved it as much as I did, and I liked it. Because I honestly thought when I heard Suky and the other guys was saying, you know, how they didn't like it, and I'm mad into Doctor Who. It was the first time me watching it, and I don't know. Sometimes that mystic bond what me and John have, I really liked it. Plus, it came out of a load of fucking notes, which ruined mine. I only had like 3 left.
That's not a reason to vote for him in a nice way, though, is it?
It is, because we thought it was on the same level. We thought it was there. Boom.
Saves you telling us, Cliff. Cool. That's 3. I'm going to go with Craig. And do you know why I'm going to go with Craig? Because the sound stopped for 10 minutes or whatever it was.
And he drank a load of arse cum.
Well, in between gulps of horse cum, he sat there and looked incredibly professional.
Proper pro.
That looks good as well.
Yeah, he didn't break a sweat. I didn't even know, unless he had to text me. I would never have known, apart from the fact he was quiet. I thought he was dead. Quiet for 5 minutes. I thought he was dead.
I was only quiet because I didn't have a clue what anyone was saying to respond to.
But John does win this week.
Yeah,
Benny.
John should win.
Well done.
Well done, John.
It's time to find out what we're going to be watching next month.
Come on, randomizer.
Yeah. Have you got your randomizer ready,
It's not
John?
me, is it? Oh, no.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
It's
Oh,
not
it's
me,
Cliff, isn't it? This one, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Cliff.
Yeah.
For a
You
minute
ready,
there, I
the
thought it was
randomizer?
my fault.
I'm ready. Tell me when you're
I'll
ready.
introduce this one. So we need to find out what we're going to be watching for next month and reviewing. We need to go over to get Cliff to start spinning his balls and put us out of our misery and pull out the ball and tell us what we are going to be watching next time, please, Cliff.
Press it now. Oh, an early one. 88, The Deadly Assassin.
Oh, interesting. Right.
I believe we've never done the Deadly Assassin before.
Is
We
it a
haven't.
missing episode by any chance?
No.
Tom Baker, solo effort.
Yeah.
Does not have an assistant, goes back to Gallifrey, John.
Hey, it's good, this one. I like it.
It's
It's after Sarah Jane goes. Yeah. It's interesting.
It's dark. Oh, that's
It
exciting.
answers a lot of questions, this one. It's good. I like it.
I've seen this a lot, but
Yeah, I've seen this a
but yeah, there's a lot. Well, a couple
Same
should
year
be-
I was born as well, 76.
Was it?
Oh, you're just a baby, aren't you, really?
Yeah.
I was born in 71, so I'm 50 in a few 7 weeks' time.
Oh,
yeah,
he never told us.
You've
I didn't
never
realise
mentioned
that.
it.
Craig. You never mentioned it. Right. Anyway, so in between then, you'll be able to hear us again as in our bonus episodes that we are currently on the journey of the Time Lord Victorious saga. And our next review coming out will be a Big Finish audio. He Kills Me Not, starring Paul McGann as the 8th Doctor. So that'll be coming up. So until next time, thank you very much for tuning in and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Facebook as well. Thank you very much for those that have watched it. I don't know who has. I'm obviously we know a couple people have. So
See you,
thank you very
Mum.
much. Yeah, thank you very much for joining in. I hope you've enjoyed our sort of live take on this anyway. And yeah, the YouTube role will be coming up at some point. I just need to work out where to stop this now. Oh, there we go. End. So that stopped. Anyway, YouTubers,
Oh,
thank you
well
very
done.
much for taking in our YouTube nonsense as always, and we'll see